they were able to do that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So Vienne, can you please kind of tell us how you got started in your company and what you do?
Sure, I can do that. So thank you so much for having me on your show. A little bit about myself. I am Vienne, the founder of Vienne Milano. I created the brand about 10 years ago. At the time, I couldn't find thigh-high stockings that would stay up. Everything that existed at the time were either, something you would wear to go to a costume party, or they were $100 per pair of stockings, which didn't make it feasible for me to wear every day for work. But I knew that I wasn't the only woman who had this challenge. And so I spent some time, developed the brand, and actually traveled to Italy for sourcing. And yeah, so here we are today. I created the brand in 2011. We're about 10 years old now.
Okay, that's amazing. I always love a good thigh-high stocking. I have to say that.
I'll have to send you a pair. Send me your address after this.
I hate, which is weird because I hate like tights or anything like that, but like thigh highs are like, I feel the most sexiest thing you can wear as a woman.
Girl, you are pitching my story. Exactly. That's exactly it. Like, I am not a tall woman, right? So, regular pantyhose or just stockings just come up to my, like, I don't know, they come up to here sometimes, it feels like, just because I'm so short. And so I know thigh highs, they stay up, they're comfortable. They're a little bit more versatile. So yeah, you're pitching my story.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we gotta get your wife some thigh highs. Like this.
Yeah. All right, I'm in. Let's do it. If it makes you feel sexy, I'm in.
And before we go a little bit further, I would love to introduce my co-host, Jim. Jim, take it away for a little bit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Vienne, I'm a financial advisor. I'm a comprehensive financial advisor, the vice president of THG Financial Group. And what we do is we do comprehensive planning for individuals, families, and business owners, really in 3 tiers. The first is risk management, everything that can really create some stress in your life, whether it's the market fluctuations or some legal areas or just insurance planning. Wealth accumulation, which is building assets, and then wealth disbursement is, when you get to the finish line and you want to run off and have a nice retirement plan, that you want to have enough income and cash flow to come on in for yourself. So we run the comprehensive planning approach and the teaming approach just to make sure we can help people out.
Oh, that's awesome. And since I'm based in Boston, there's just so many financial planners. I feel like there's every other person is either a realtor, a financial planner, or a doctor. Yeah. It's like the city is, there's so many of folks like you. I mean, I'm not saying that like y'all the same or anything, but I'm just saying that there's quite a few of folks in this profession.
Yeah, I mean, Boston is well known for the financial services. I came from doing the financial services work in Massachusetts, in Boston. So I completely agree with that. But thank you.
Wonderful. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. I have a couple questions to ask you, Ben. So my first one is, I know you talked a little about your story and how, why you started your brand and your company. I thought of something else because of the fact that you said, you went to Italy, and I have a few friends that are international, but I don't know anyone personally in Italy. How has the pandemic kind of, affected your brand, because you are, using Italian, I'm presuming, quality goods. So how has this whole thing that everybody's been going through, really affected your business, or has it?
Well, that's a great question. So every January, I actually would travel to Italy. Now, last year was an exception because I was 5 months pregnant at the time. And so I had already planned on not being in Italy in around January, February time. And kind of lucked out because that was when the virus had started spreading in the north, especially, which is actually the area that I would go to. And so kind of dodged a bullet there, right? And in terms of how does it affect my brand and everything? Well, a couple of ways. So, in the beginning, I well, actually, let me go back. What I typically do is that I would place an order, I don't know, monthly or every other month for an abundance amount of inventory, right? Well, because not necessarily because of the pandemic, but because again, I was pregnant and not knowing, how things would end up, and I didn't want to become a bottleneck for my team and everything. I thought, gosh, I should like quadruple what I typically order anyway. And so I did that, and very slowly, I noticed that things were delayed. 1 week became 2 week became 3 weeks delay. And I'm thinking like, guys, what the hell is going on? Right. Excuse my language.
Okay,
And my
it's like,
suppliers were like,
it's
my
an adult
suppliers were like, oh, no. Well, at the time, my suppliers were saying like, things are shutting down here. Like, whether be it like the producer for the lace band or the paper producer, things were slowing down, or they're shutting down. And so I thought, okay, I don't care what it is. By the end of like the third week, I said, I don't care what it is. You guys gotta get everything out the door.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty good relationship with my supplier, but at this point, I'm yelling at him. I'm like, like, guys, you have to get this out. I don't care what it is. So, long story short, they rushed everything out of customs, and the day after, Italy was shut down. So I was kind of like, phew.
Yeah.
Had it been like a day or two too late, I don't know what would have happened. And thankfully, because I had ordered so much stuff in advance, we were actually pretty good. We were doing very well. And so that was fine. However, when it comes to when it came to the fall, what we usually do is that we would launch our fall collection in September. That was delayed by a month. And part of that was because when things did open in Italy, they were backed up. All the suppliers were backed up. And also August came around, and a lot of European brands, they still carried on with their vacation in August. So they were shut down in August. So when September came about, they were back producing all the things that were back ordered. And so it wasn't just me. I think a lot of folks who supply from Italy were also seeing a delay as well.
right.
And so, but things, I would say that things are kind of back to where they were before. There's still a shutdown. But I think in Italy, I think the government knows that if they shut down hardcore, like they did back in April, their economy may suffer even more.
Right.
And so, to my understanding, the shutdown now is that people can go to work. You don't necessarily need to have like a piece of paper out with you when you go out, and it's not. You can go out more to more than just to the grocery store. So the restriction is a little bit looser compared to the way things were back in April.
Right.
But yeah, so it has impacted us. But I mean, in some ways, we kind of things kind of worked out for us as well.
Right.
Good.
No,
Good.
that's really amazing. I just presumed everything was shut down, and I was just like, what happens now? You brought up like a good point about, like the government realizing that, people, even with the virus, they do have to get back to some kind of normalcy, and, kind of continue on with life, make adjustments or so how. I think Elon Musk said like recently that, obviously he didn't really agree with the lockdowns, but he was saying that people have to eventually go back to work. And, we have to make things in order for our society to operate. Otherwise, we don't have a society. So,
Yeah.
So that's one thing he said that I was like, oh yeah, I agree with this completely, among other things. But, as we are talking about hosiery and, thigh highs, and, kind of the whole genre of, going into lingerie, especially for women. And like I said, obviously Valentine's Day is coming up. And even besides that holiday as a whole, I'm always fascinated why people buy things. Have you seen a slowdown in people purchasing your product right now, or has it gone up?
You know, I want to say that here, the line is like this,
Mhm.
but you know, the baseline. Okay, so let's just put it this way: what we do normally in business for us has been about the same. There are definitely months where it's like been better. It's been better than the previous years, but
Right.
then there's months that are just about the same. You
Yeah.
know, so, but that said, our business is very seasonal. Our peak season it starts from September and it goes all the way to April. Um, but last year, even after April, things were fine. And like I said, in some cases and for some months, they were even, better than before. Um, to dig into it a little bit more. So, my customers could be divided into three groups. 40% of my or 60% of my customers, let's start with there. 60% of my customers are women. These are professional women. It could be because, I'm based in Boston. There just tends to be a lot of professionals in my city.
Right.
So, I mean, even though we're an e-commerce brand and we sell to just about anywhere in the world, at the end of the day, it's professional women that had helped us grow from the beginning. And then 40% of our customers are men, and these are men that are married to or dating the women in the first group. But then I would say that 10% of that 40% are men buying hosiery for themselves as well. So with the pandemic, I think that, some of our styles or some of the styles and preferences have changed a little bit. So, for us, we've always been talking about how hosiery is a fashion accessory that can be worn for every occasion. And that's why a lot of professional women buy our hosiery because they wear it to work. Well, I think with the pandemic, a lot of women and men are staying home. And so we're seeing actually more and more of our sexier style, if you will, being purchased. And there's actually more men buying our hosiery as well, whether again, be it for themselves or for the women that they're I don't want to say stuck at home because you're really, but the women that they're together with at home.
Like, I'm stuck at home. Here's some hosiery. There, good way. Oh, that's funny. Sometimes it could be like that. I don't know.
Yeah, hey,
I think it's good.
So my last question obviously is about confidence. And, like you said, a lot of us are at home working. And, you mentioned a lot of the sexier styles are, kind of the high things that people are purchasing. Why do you think it's important right now for, women, men, whoever are purchasing your product to, buy hosiery and just even in that whole kind of genre of lingerie that, sometimes people see things as essential and see other things as not essential. I feel like it's essential just to have some kind of, something nice in your life, just like jewelry. You don't need it, but it's nice. And it makes you feel good. But why is it important to kind of bring back that confidence?
Oh, well, I believe that when you look good, you feel good, right? And so, even for me today, I'm working from home. I haven't left our building. I don't remember. Well, no, I think I left a few days ago, but I'm still wearing hosiery at home. I'm still wearing my thigh highs. I'm dressed like I'm going out, and I wholeheartedly believe that when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think a lot of women and men, they still buy hosiery for themselves or for their loved ones. Yeah. But actually, I was thinking about this question a little bit more too. There's another aspect to it. For me in particular, spending so much time at home, you go through a lot of decluttering. You're just going through like, okay, I don't want this, I don't want that. And you end up throwing away a lot of things that you're just like, oh my gosh, why did I hold on to this? I haven't worn this. It's like, what's her name? Marie Kondo. If it doesn't spark joy, you throw it away. But then it also leaves room and opportunity for women
Right.
to buy things for themselves where they're like, okay, this does make me feel good and this does bring me joy, And so I think that's why, especially towards this time of the year, whether be it for Valentine's Day or just like something luxurious for yourself, we do see a lot of customers buying that, buying hosiery for that reason.
Right. That makes total sense to me. I wish it would make sense to my credit card bill. They just don't understand I need it.
I mean, that's well said, though. I mean, I can say from a man's perspective, when you look good or when you look good or you look like you're the part, you feel much better. And I can tell you that working from home I mean, we still can go see clientele and whatnot, but it's predominantly working from home, that it's easy just to put shorts and t-shirt on and just kind of do your thing.
Yeah.
But I like that idea. I mean, one of the things that we do, and I teach everyone on my team, is every now and then wear a suit or wear a dress or wear something like that. Hosiery is an interesting component, though. That's not something that I have thought of, but I mean, that's not meaning there's anything wrong with that. But I mean, it's interesting to me on the hosiery side. What is like the top product or the top marketing area that you and your company sell for hosiery?
Sure. So our product portfolio is actually divided into two categories. So, and I actually come from like the product or software world. That's why I continue to use language that are like product portfolio or like anyway, much more traditional. So, one of our product category is called permanent collection, and this is actually our bread and butter. Our permanent collection are items that are permanently there. They'll always be around for our customers, and these are your black shears, your nude shears, your matte fishnet backseam stockings. They're not products that I can take credit for because they're products that have been around forever and ever. But in particular, even within that permanent collection, the product that is our bestseller is our Isabella Black Sheer. I think it's because it's such a classic item. It's also available in 5 sizes, and it's just a product that could be worn for every occasion, whether be it you're going to work or you're staying at home for a hot day or whatever it is. That is our biggest seller. Then our other collection, which we call the signature collection, these are products that are more fashion forward, more trendy. So for example, last year we launched neon colors and neon color stockings, mainly because neon is a hot color, has been for the past few years. We've learned in the past that, Black is a classic item, a color that everybody wants, but every so often, trendy colors are also important. And so trendy colors, all that said, are going to be as popular as Black. And so we keep items from our signature collection at a smaller amount, or at a minimum, if you will, unless we see something that is, a really, really hot item, then we'll produce more of it. But yeah, I think I hopefully answered that.
Yeah, that was good. And I wrote down, it's interesting to me that you said 60% are professional women, 40% are men, and out of that 40%, 10 use them for themselves. So for this 100% of people, do you feel that, this product line increases, how they, actually Gwen mentioned it, their confidence in themselves, and then thus, I mean, a professional woman is going to go in there and just, hammer away and get the job done. Do you feel that that's going to really catapult them into getting, to the end zone?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't guarantee that that's how you will do, performance aside, but I do think that when you look good, you feel good, right? And so, and it resonates. And that's why I think that is the reason why women buy our product. It's for vanity reasons, not for sanity.
Okay, I love that, Vienne. I think that's cool. I mean, so who do you market to? Like, who is your main client base? Is it companies like a storefront, or is it individuals that call in and buy?
It's the latter. So we sell direct to consumers.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we market, for the most part, because 60% of our customers are professional women. So, all of our images and marketing is geared towards her.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's awesome because this is something that, I mean, me being naive, I didn't really think of. I mean, I know about lingerie, and I'm a huge fan of that, but I never really thought of the hosiery side of it. This is very interesting to me. Um,
Thank you. It's funny though, because that is a cultural thing too, because it's a very European product. And at the beginning, we were targeting a lot of Europeans who live in the States, or expats, people who are American, lived in the US, and then now they're back in the US. But I think now more and more Americans are understanding, gosh, hosiery really does enhance an outfit. It does boost my confidence, etc. And so, that it just leaves a lot of untapped market here, you know.
right, right. So when you started this, did you start targeting international people first, international companies and folks first, and then start working with expats here?
No, I honestly, I in the very beginning, I have to be honest, we didn't really know who that audience was. We knew
Yeah.
that it would be a woman. Um, I knew that she would be confident. That's actually our brand positioning in the beginning. It was Vienne Milano reveals the style and confidence of a woman who knows how to be elegant, playful, and sexy in every occasion. And so
Hmm.
I didn't target any particular age group because I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
I did know that someone who wore thigh highs in particular, not just hosiery, is someone who's confident with herself. It didn't matter size or age, and who wants to show her style. And then lastly, we chose the words elegant, playful, and sexy because I know that, again, back to the cultural aspect, in America, I think thigh highs are thought of as something you wear for a hot date. So there's a sexy component, but we wanted to play up the elegance of it too. So that's why we chose elegance, elegant, playful, and sexy in every occasion.
Yeah, that's a good phrase. I like that, and that rolls off your tongue, and it really kind of attracts you to that. That's neat. That's neat. So, what is like a number one product or one of the products that men buy for their significant others or
It's
themselves?
the same. It's the same product, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's Isabella. Yeah, it's a popular item for men and women.
Okay.
You know,
So, Isabella, you heard it here live. Isabella.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No problem.
Well,
The other aspect, I don't know if you guys would be interested, but we've done a lot of testing on our ads as well. And one of the things that we found interesting is that, when we have an ad with a gorgeous woman wearing our hosiery, obviously for men, they click on it, they want to see, the beautiful woman. But more importantly, a lot of times the ad with a beautiful woman wearing our hosiery, um, in a sexy way versus a fashionable way, a woman responds better to that than a fashionable ad too. And I think it's because a woman wants to feel that way. She wants to look confident and feel confident as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Agree.
that makes sense. Just from a personal experience, like I really gravitate towards images that are more just sexual or sensual than like trendy, fashionable. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe it just makes them get older, but I was like, I don't want to look like I'm 20 because I'm not 20 anymore. Versus like I want to look like a grown woman. So I could kind of see how from imagery that you're speaking of with especially women that are professional, want to say over 30, are responding to things like that. So that kind of makes complete sense. I'm not saying that younger women can't like that too, but just in general terms.
Well, and to getting into our customers, we do actually really well with women that are 30 and over, 30 to 45. That's really the sweet spot for us.
Yeah, I can
Really?
see that.
Okay.
And yeah, and then there are some,
Yeah.
baby boomers as well. But I think hosiery, because it is a classic item, at one point, all women had to wear it, whether be it to go to the grocery store or wherever, right? the history of hosiery is very interesting. You know, during the Second World War, when nylon was all used up for uniforms, women would actually paint a line on the back of their legs to make it seem like they're wearing hosiery. So, you know, for that type of audience that are still around today, they understand, you know, hosiery and why it's important to wear stockings. So we do sell a lot to that type of demographic as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I hope this makes sense to all of those people that are watching, men and women. But definitely, you guys want to check out Vienne Milano on Instagram. Her website will be tagged as well in the replay for everyone that was not able to watch live. Do you have any kind of promotions, Vienne, or anything that's coming up that you would love to share about your company?
Sure. You know, we're having a Valentine's Day sale. So the promo code is VDAY21 for 25% off. But, you know, one thing that actually I didn't get to mention is that, you know, although our bread and butter is thigh-high stockings, but we also have complementing items. So garter belts, garters, lingerie actually as well, just because as we grew, a lot of our customers started asking for items that would complete their look. And so we do offer that in the boutique section of our website.
Interesting. Okay.
That's a great expansion of your brand and company. Well, thank you so much, Gwen. This has been really informational. You know, I love anything to do with like hosiery or lingerie. You guys haven't figured this out by watching me for the last 30 minutes. But you know, I looked at your brand and I was just like obsessed with it. I thought it was an amazing product. So you guys definitely have to go get this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me, by the way. This has been such a great conversation.
Yeah, it has. It has. I mean,
Thank you
I
so much.
enjoyed it. I mean, this is new to me, and this is outside of my wheelhouse. But I love your story. I love your passion, and I love what you said. You know, about the statistics and kind of what and why this has been taking off. So I commend you. This is awesome. To me, this is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello?
Looks like we froze for like 2 seconds. Either we froze or we're all just sitting here very still. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
This is what happens when the entire world on the internet at the same time. Okay. But thank you so much again. And I, you know, would love to talk with you further and hopefully do another stream with you. But thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Hey, take care, Vienne.
And as always, everybody, as I always end every podcast, I know the vaccine's here and we're all getting kind of agitated because we all want to get out of our houses and go back to some normalcy. But as I always say, just be kind to one another. That's the only thing that we can control. And it's free. So you don't have to pay for kindness. And, you know, karma will come back in a good way. So please be kind to one another. And thank you. And we will be back here next time. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.